Fine wood furniture is a fixture of homes throughout the world, but getting the raw material to make it doesn't always mean raiding our forests. For some manufacturers, it's now coming from urban areas where downed trees and old buildings might otherwise end up in landfills. And along with helping the environment, it is also creating jobs in neighborhoods that need them. Errol Barnett has more.
At this Baltimore warehouse, the lumber is anything but run-of-the-mill.
A lot of this lumber was harvested around the Civil War, and a lot of the trees that were turned into this lumber really started growing probably in the 1500s.
The antique yellow pine was saved from crumbling row homes like these.
So it has a grain that you wouldn't find today, it has a color that you wouldn't find today, and it really, just as importantly to us, it has a story, and we can be able to kind of hold on to that little bit of history.
Max Pollock is the founder of Brick and Board, a company that sells reclaimed wood and other salvage material in Baltimore, a city with an estimated 16,000 vacant and abandoned properties. For 5 years, you've been a part of what people describe as the urban lumber movement. What is it, and how do you see yourself fitting into it?
It refers to both lumber that's harvested from buildings that would otherwise be discarded and sent to a landfill, and it also refers to capturing material that falls during storms.
Woodworkers across the country are building the movement, but Pollock says there's more work to be done.
If you were to poll 100 people who are working in the reclaimed wood field, the truth is that a lot of them look like me. They're white guys with beards and with flannel shirts, but there really isn't any reason why that should be the case. It's always been important for us to try to democratize these skills a little bit, to try to take people who may not have had the opportunity to go to shop class or may not have had the opportunity to apprentice with the carpenter, and teach them about the material, teach them about milling this stuff so that they can create a career out of it.
Like 21-year-old Dante Godwin, who's worked here for about a year and a half. He appreciates the opportunity, he tells me, in a city with an unemployment rate that usually tracks a few points higher than the national average.
It's not that easy to get an opportunity. I was lucky. I had mentors to give me. I wouldn't have knew about this opportunity if it wasn't for them.
So even in Baltimore, with a high black population and a rich history, it's very difficult for young black men to get started.
Yes, most definitely. That's why more black men is in the streets than having a job.
Brick and Board is just one of the private partners in the Urban Wood Project, a collaboration between the City of Baltimore, the USDA Forest Service, and others. The hope is that salvaging wood can revitalize the city. This used to be abandoned row homes. It's now a park.
Exactly right. It's a park. You can hear these birds, and residents comment on that.
Co-leader of the Urban Wood Project is Sarah Hines of the USDA Forest Service. She wants to help other cities replicate what she calls an urban wood economy.
Zip codes like this and similar have high rates of unemployment, high rates of poverty, high rates of incarceration, underlying health issues. This project can ameliorate a lot of that by thinking about ways to employ people, give people opportunities, avoid waste, and plant trees in places that desperately need them.
I don't think most people realize that. Logs in a landfill are actually a bad thing.
Yeah, if you think about a tree, it's sequestering or capturing carbon, so that CO2 that's in the air, and it stores it in the body of the tree. And so when that tree is removed and it's decomposing, it releases all of that CO2 back into the atmosphere, contributing obviously to climate change.
Jennifer Saliga leads the Urban Wood Rescue in Sacramento, which is funded in part by a grant by the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection. She says her organization has sequestered 6,770 metric tons of carbon. That's equal to about 731,000 gallons of gas.
We're able to divert logs that would normally go to the landfill into our yard and then get them back out into the community.
But Saliga admits this process isn't easy.
It's a long endeavor from when the log is taken down to when it becomes a piece of furniture, and it can be very costly. Building out partnerships and building that community is just really important to success.
One of those partnerships is with Minnesota-based Room and Board, a furniture company that is also part of the Urban Wood Project, turning reclaimed wood from Baltimore, Sacramento, Detroit, and Minneapolis into sustainable furniture and decor.
We have one planet. So all of us need to look at, not only as leaders, but as individuals, to say, how can we make a difference?
Room and Board President and CEO Bruce Champeau says his company has an environmental and social responsibility.
It's a combination of using those materials and creating jobs for people that can have an opportunity.
So it's more than just about raw resources.
Absolutely. The social aspect of it is equally as important. And I think when you take those two things and you combine them, that's where it becomes something really magical.
Remodeling the way we care for each other. For CBS This Morning Saturday, Errol Barnett, Baltimore.
That's that key, that it's both ends of it.
It looks great, it helps the environment, and it helps people.
You know, I've gone through many abandoned houses, and it was the thing that I said to myself, where is all of this material going? And so now there's a place for it to go. I'm just so excited about this. Great story, Vidya and Errol. Just great story.
Yeah.